Hi, my name is Rick Howell. I'm a TV guy, and this show is called Talk Back to Television. It's about the business of television, how we make the programs, how we distribute the programs, and mostly how we pay for the programs. Because if we can't pay for the shows, there's nothing to watch. Stay tuned. Good morning. This is the show Talk Back to Television, and I'm here with Dave Berman of Cloud Sports. Dave, how are you?
I am very well, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing well. I need to let the audience know that I met Dave when I saw a LinkedIn post about in-game play for the NFL. And I have to tell you, within 2 minutes, I was up and operating on my computer, watching my Ravens play, betting on the next pass that Lamar Jackson would throw. Now, when I got to the end of it, I got a little carried away, and I think I ended up 20 points down. But it's not like it's real money. Dave, this is astonishing that you're doing this.
Thanks, Rick. It really is. We look at it very simply and say, just as much as you sat on a couch and bet your friend next to you, I know what's going to happen on the next play. That was the whole concept behind this. We took a U.S. patent that we discovered and licensed it that covers match play gaming. In effect, I'm smarter than you, or I'm smarter than your friend. I'm a better armchair quarterback than you are, and I can predict what's going to happen successfully on the next play. Let me point out, this is a game for fun and for points, not yet for money.
Speaking of the for money thing, I'm reminded that a number of years ago, probably 5 years ago, I had somebody from one of the big gaming houses in Vegas on a panel, and we were talking about in-game play. And his attitude was, they tried that in Europe with soccer and it didn't work. And my response was, that's because nothing ever happens in a soccer game. But be that as it may, you are right now doing this for fun, and you have some models that will let me, the player, accumulate points. And one of the things we talked about, those points could be turned in to save money on my ESPN Plus subscription. But you're also looking at a separate, not on the living room couch model for live in the stadium betting. How does that work?
Well, here's the thing. As most of your viewers probably know, television has a latency problem.
Yeah.
And so what the viewer at home is seeing is somewhere between anywhere from 15 to 45 or 50 seconds late. And so we have, as part of the app, a way to compensate for that and synchronize players so that we take away any particular advantage caused by the latency.
So hang on. That means that when I was playing with the Ravens-Texans game, I had 45-ish seconds because it's satellite and bouncing around all over God's green earth. But I was playing against people who had the same delay.
Correct.
Which is amazing. It is the thing that has stopped in-game, or what you call match play, from ever happening. I mean, you've solved that one, buddy.
Well, we solved it, and we've applied for a U.S. patent on our solution as well.
Wow. Okay, so now let's go back after we get through the delay. If I'm watching, and I assume I'm watching in the stadium with my iPhone in my hands, do you have an iPhone app yet?
No, we are still using a mobile web application.
Okay, all right. And anyway, so watching in the stadium, and I say Lamar Jackson's going to throw it 15 yards, and my buddy says, nah, he's only going to go 10. He's going to do a pick over to Mark Andrews, and Andrews is going to run. We can bet each other live in real time at the stadium, right?
Yes.
And your thinking is that's not betting for fun. That's betting for money?
Well, it could be betting for money. It could, we look at it and say, our goal right now is a game that anyone can play in all 50 states. Yep. And basically setting a minimum age of 13 or so.
Yep.
So that The goal for our game is enhanced fan engagement. Every team, every sport is looking at how do we improve fan engagement. What we envision with the in-stadium game, which is live because it's your eyesight, is that we would have the ability to license or have some sort of click through with one of the casinos where you can say, I'm confident Lamar is throwing that
Yep.
pass. I'm willing to bet, so I'm going to click over here.
Yep.
And that would be a revenue source for us as well.
Okay. Now, this show's going to air the Friday before the Super Bowl.
Right.
And our audience will be able to play along with probably the Ravens against the 49ers, but who knows? It's football. Nobody knows. But I know. Anyway, watch. I'm going to be wrong at that. I'm going to jinx them. But they could play along. How do they get to your app or your website?
Very simply, you go to www.crowdsports.tv, CROWSPORTS.tv, and you just click on it. There's the game. You can log in with your email. You can log in with a Google ID, and in a few seconds, the game will come up and you will be playing.
Now, the one thing that I'll tell the audience now is the first time I did it, you had a way that I could take the camera on my computer and aim it at the screen and try to pick up the countdown clock on the screen. And that was fussy because my picture wasn't good. There was glare on the screen or whatever. But you have a much faster way to do that, which is simply I go to the program and it says, what's the countdown clock now? And I say fourth quarter 1.11, and boom, I'm in with everybody else who has the same degree of latency that I do.
Correct. And that's part of the process that we're patenting, both the use of the camera to recognize the clock on TV and this other thing. And what we've done is basically sample all the various cable and satellite and streaming providers around the country
Yep.
to get some averages of latency so that we can also just automatically impose a latency compensator on you if you like.
Now, you actually didn't need to know that I had DirecTV, which is bouncing the signal off Mars last time I checked. You just needed to know what the countdown clock was against real time, and you put me in a cohort of other bettors doing the same thing.
Exactly right. What all we need to know is because we have a virtually live data feed coming
Yep.
from the stadium, we then use that and the system then compares that to that clock you've entered or the clock that the camera has recognized, basically sets up that latency delay to say, don't show him the result for this amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, guess what? We're about out of time. We're going to come back and do this again. Maybe we'll come back after the Super Bowl. But Dave Berman from crowdsports.tv, I got to tell you, this is wicked cool. This is what I never thought we could figure out a way to do with the built-in latency on TV, and you've solved it. I mean, you're right there with this. So I recommend all of my audience go watch the Super Bowl, play along. I'll be playing there too, and if you're in my delay, I'm going to swamp you. I'm going to beat you all.
I certainly hope so. I appreciate this, Rick, and a shout out to our Chief Technology Officer, Justin Dodge, who is the guy who created that latency compensator. And an equal shout out to my nephew, the music teacher, who beat Justin this past Sunday playing the game.
There you go. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. We'll see everybody next week on Talk Back to Television. Bye-bye.